Hello. Hello, video reel. Okay. Now, I have it ready this time, video reel. Look at this. I have it on my iPad already. I just have to remember, I think we were at page like 500 and something, right? It's cold here again. I went out to the store and I got these jumbo pool noodles. Don't think I'll be using them this season. That was an adventure. I had Scooter with me and Jen Grill. Okay. Now, where's my glasses? So, I would love to put the screen, the text messages up there, but for some reason my computer doesn't want to cooperate. And I don't know why, because my iPad is not some like crazy movie. Well, you saw a video reel. It wasn't taxing my machine. Oh my gosh, that sounds like really my computer. But all right, let's go here. All right, we're almost there. 500, let's see. If we were 500. I'm not dealing with this. Done. Whatever. Oh. I uploaded a new video too. You'll see in the video part of it where the investigator delivers the phone to Mackenzie Shirilla's hospital room. And that's quite an interesting exchange with her parents. Yeah, it's quite eye-opening. Okay. Why is she looking at your pants? She was that we went past that one. Okay. Oh, and the prom. She was very upset. I don't understand why she couldn't go to the prom. I don't get that. Is that because she wasn't in the same? They had some regulations about grade or what? Why couldn't he take her to the prom? I don't know why.
Maybe, was she chosen?
What?
Maybe. I don't know. Was she picked to go to prom? I don't know.
You know, as a date. Okay. 538. Okay, I don't think we've gone this far now. What are you doing? 10th grade? You don't think she can go? I think you can go. No? I don't know. Okay. Let's start from here. We're going to start at page 532. Like, I want to effing go to prom with you, Dom. It's your prom, and you're making me feel like shite. And you tell me to let you heal alone. But then, when I effing do, you call me inconsiderate. And Dom says, TF, which is the F, you mean. Never mind, I'm done with this. To which she replies, Dom, what do you mean? Why do you just gotta flip on me, she says. And then she says, I thought we would do our work together. And then she says, like I don't see why I can't come out and do my work with you. And Dom replies, remember, Kenzie, I have no tolerance now. And then Dom says, you used it all up. To which she replies, me? Wow. To which he replies, and for real, it shouldn't be too much to ask to just work on my computer alone. To which she responds, you didn't say alone. You said, I'ma do my work. So I thought I would come do mine too. To which he says, I'm not arguing about this now. I'm not going to get anything done. To which she says, you don't have to. Just make me feel like I'm nothing every effing time you get mad, Dom. Just be like, oh, Kenzie, I want to work alone. Yeah, that would work real well, right? Yeah. Now Dom says, I haven't got anything done since Monday. Now, I just want you to understand that when we started these texts, I believe they were on 1/12 of 2020. I want you to understand that we are at, hold on a minute, my iPen is working, I gotta stop this, hold on a minute. Stop. No, I don't want to use my, no, stop. Okay. We are at, okay, hold on a minute, done. Stop it now. Stop it. Oh my goodness. I want to scroll forward and somehow, let me put my pen in here. I think it's going to make me open this again now. Ridiculous. But somehow we're like on page 500 and what did I say, like 32, when I read, must be on 545 now. And it's only like not even a week. Just so you know that. Okay. And now this ridiculousness here that this is. Okay, now it's loading again. I don't know what I did. I hit it with the pen, but this is really fast. But anyway, so if you're first catching up with us, we're reading the text of Dom and Kenzie. And these are going to span 2 years. So you're going to see something. You're going to see history in the relationship. You're going to see consistent behavior in the relationship. And when consistent behavior, I mean, you're going to see Kenzie's consistent behavior from the time she's 15 years old. And if you had a chance to go and see the mother's, Kenzie's mother, she made a victim's impact statement, which the judge called her out on. And she's like, well, hold on a minute. You said like about 5 words about the victims, and all you're doing is talking about your daughter, which is Cindy Watts should have got called out on that. But this judge called her out. So, you know, hang on one second. Okay. All right. So I was just really shocked that, and you see my arm moving, I'm scrolling the messages ahead. We're almost there. This iPad works really fast with these messages. We don't have any of that stalling we had last night, which was an insanity. So, welcome in, Ramblers. Welcome in, friends. Okay. Now, almost there. My allergies have been pretty good today. And all of a sudden, they're just feeling like that. itchy feeling on the top of my throat. I wonder if I should take my Zyrtec. Okay, now I've gone way too ahead. So she's upset. For some reason, she can't go to the prom. And I guess when she's at Dom's house, he keeps her like stay in the bedroom, or she's can I come out here? Which I don't even imagine her asking permission the way she is. If she can come out there, it just seems crazy. But she does, for some reason, ask. Okay. Okay, so then he was fixing his computer, right? And he didn't want her to come out. We're almost there. I'm just trying to get back to my page here. These text messages are terrible. Extremely abusive. Okay, let's see. We got to be getting there because we're in the 500s now. Okay, here we go. I got it. Where she said, "Me, wow," right? Now I just had that. Hang on. Once we get there, we'll be okay. Okay, we got to be over here now. All right, so you can take me to prom. We're back on the prom, so I know we're close, okay? Oh, here's Kyle. Okay. I'm just going to go start here, okay? We might be a little bit repeating a few of them, but we're going to keep going because otherwise it's just going to be. She says, "Yo, what's going on?" He says, "What do you mean?" She says, "I just want to know if you're okay because a lot is going on." Then she says, "Can you guys come back?" He says, "Yeah, 1 second." She says, "Okay." Bless you. This is 128. So again, like we're just, 2 weeks like that. She puts question mark, says, "Can we do something?" She says, "You're being mean. Stop being a D to me. I'm just trying to help you, but you always think I'm trying to fight. Like, I want to effing go to the prom with you, Dom. It's your prom and you're making me feel like shite. You tell me to let you heal alone." Okay, this is where we were. "But then when I effing do, you call me inconsiderate." And then he says, "The F you mean, never mind, I'm done with this." "Dom, what do you mean?" she says. "Why you gotta just flip on me?" she says. And then she says, I thought we would do our work together. And then she says, like, I don't see why I can't come out and work with you. He says, remember, Kenzie, I have 0 tolerance now. No tolerance. He says, you used it all up. She says, me? Wow. He says, and for real, it shouldn't be too much to ask to just work on my computer alone. She says, you didn't say alone. You said, I'm going to do my work. So I thought I would come do mine too. He says, I'm not arguing about this now. I'm not going to get anything done. She says, you don't have to just make me feel like I'm nothing every effing time you get mad, Dom. Just be like, oh, Kenzie, I want to work alone. Yeah, that would work well. He says, I haven't gotten anything done since Monday. She says, I'm not arguing. He says, and you were asking me every 2 minutes to go to my room. She says, just do your work. He says, screw you. She says, stop getting mad over a little shite, for real. Then she says, it's not a big deal. He says, I've been getting so fed up with you, he says, every day. She says, when I've been doing nothing? Then she says, whatever, go do your ducking work. Stop being mean to me, she says. Dom replies, maybe if we didn't have to hang out every day, I wouldn't get as mad at you. Maybe if I just got a little space, we wouldn't have to deal with these problems, also said by Dom. She says, then ask for space. My gosh, has this guy not been asking for space? What is going on? Video reel, can you hear me? Read all the comments. If you have iPad screen mirror, you could send to PC screen. I don't know. I have no idea. Jimmy, can you see if you can, can you listen if you can hear me, please? Read all those comments. Okay. I did. I can't, I'm not going to fool around now because it just makes it a big mess. All you have to do is ask, she said. Like, it's not my effing fault. Jimmy? I don't know. Let me just make sure. I just want to make sure. I'm like paranoid that you can't hear me. Maybe. Okay, good. You can hear me. You can just ask me, like, don't put everything on me, she says. And Dom replies, but now I know why me and Kyle don't hang out anymore. Me and Chris don't hang out anymore. And me and Sheen don't hang out anymore. It's all because of the woman. She says, effing do your work. And then she says, I'm so mad right now. He says, okay, I want some space for the next 3 days. She says, 3 days? He says, it should be 3 months. She says, what type of food are you feeling? And then he says, Steak and Shake is low quality food. She says, oh, I didn't know that. She says, pizza? He says, yeah, like that Burger King quality shite. She says, Subway? And then she says, LOL. He says, where would you get pizza? She said, I can ask my mom if she'll order Giorgio's. He says, no Subway. That shite almost always something for me. Something comes, I don't know what it doesn't make sense. She says Panera. And he says, I never really had that. She says, he says, I'm sorry. And that soup you got looked gross. Okay. She says, little face emoji. Then she gives him something else. He says, want to get Olive Garden or something? She says, yes. He says, do they have it? She says, let me check. She says, no. Olive Garden on DoorDash or Uber Eats. And then she says, Buco de Beppo would work though. Then she says, Dom. And he says, what do you want from Buca? She says, let me look. Then he says, Buca is super expensive. And then he says, can you come out here and help me brainly tests? She says, plain pasta with butter on the side and steamed broccoli. Then she says, I might only be able to get a kid size. I'm trying to find out how to get a normal size. Then she says, he didn't call me something. She doesn't even make sense what she typed there. And then she says, LMAO, like what? And then he says, you don't even make sense. Oh, good. I'm glad that he doesn't think she makes sense, because it doesn't make sense to me either. And he says, if you're really offended by that. She says, I'm not, LMAO. He says, I'm just disappointed. She says, why you always think it's like that? And then she says, never mind. He says, okay. She says 3 question marks. He says, what? She says, I want you to sit by me or something. And then she's sending pictures, and it says, where are you? Then she says, you said you would be right back. It's been so long. He says, playing Wii, come out here. Can you not come over super early today? I'll pick you up in my car if you don't have a ride. She said, yeah, of course, it's fine. That's fine. Then she says, I don't have a ride though, but are you sure you can get me? What time will you come to get me? He says, yeah, I have my car. She says, okay, good. What time could you come? And he says, I'ma eat, then do school, then I'll get you. She says, do school? That's going to take like 2 to 4 hours. Then she says, that's cool. I get it, but I have to go to school around 11. And then she says, I'm also going to shower right now. Bro, Phil got expelled, she says. Can I come over soon? And then she says, babe, text me back. He says, yeah. Then he says, and how did he get expelled? She said, bro, I don't know if he just capping. He has another meeting and they're trying to say he's a threat. I'll go look at what he texted me again. And Dom says he probably is capping. She says, she puts 2 text messages in there. I guess they're his text. He says, I don't know. Then he asks her, what should I eat? She says, a bagel or pancakes. He says, no bagels and pancakes is not enough. She says, but if you make pancakes, I'll come help you. And then she says, like, what about like French toast? He says, nah, all that shite takes too much time and it isn't even healthy. She says, I don't know. what type of leftovers you got. Can I come over now, though? And then he says, I'm eating an apple. He said, do you need a ride? She says, I think my dad is back here to get something. Can I come now? Or did I do something? Sorry if I did. Now she sounds like how when she texted the mother, constantly asking, right? He says, it's not even worth trying to talk about. Just don't worry about it. She says, well, I don't want to be mad, like I want to fix whatever I did. And he says, it's the same thing that we've been over 1,000,000 times, but still will never happen. And she says, space, with a question mark? She says, you can ask for space, babe, anytime. I told you that too. He says, no, it doesn't work. She says, yes, it does. You can ask. Just ask. And you said I could come over. I wouldn't have come if you needed space. He says, okay, sure, we'll try that. Then he says, don't come over after school or tomorrow morning. And she says, can you come out here then and hang with me before I have to leave? This girl is like, doesn't get it, does she? He says, I'm taking a shite. She says, why tomorrow morning too? I work tomorrow, she says. He says, no, but for real, like my head is like an overflowing, boiling pot of water. 'Cause I shouldn't be begging to be alone or to even chill with my friends. And then she says, you don't even ask, Dom. And he says, I spend more time with you than anything else. She says, I said 1,000,000 times, you can have your space. He says, like anything, I can't even work on my schoolwork for 1 hour without you poking at me every 2 minutes. Then he said, you said, key word, you don't actually do. And then she says, I don't want to be arguing. He says, not say. And she says, and what do you mean? I did schoolwork with you. He says, see, I'm already so effing mad. She says, I'm just not going to go to school today or something. I'll just leave soon. He says, nah. Hell, bah, don't come over today or tomorrow. She says, I'm leaving soon, but you're going to make this hard if you're going to be mean about it. He says, I'm not trying to, just never had to spend so much time with someone continuously. He says, it effing sucks. He says, like, I'm with you more than anything. He says, like, more than I'm with all my other family and friends combined about. She says, I'm sorry. You can ask for space, Dom. I'll give it to you because I know you need your space. This girl is nuts. Okay? He says, no, you won't. We've been over this. She says, like, I don't want this to be a fight. I'm literally sitting here agreeing with you. Saying I'll give you space. He says, saying. Again, we've done that effing 50 times. Then Dom says, I shouldn't hate my life. I shouldn't beg to be alone. Everything you do shouldn't make me mad. Like, why? And the worst part is that I always feel bad, too, I shouldn't feel bad that I'm getting smothered. And she says, I'm sorry. And he says, see, now I feel bad. And hold on a minute. I still have my sunglasses here from when I went out before. She says, you don't have to be so mean about everything. I'm sitting here telling you I've got to give you space, Dom. He says, but I shouldn't wake up raging angry every day. Telling. Then she says, I'm going to leave soon. I don't want to make you feel that way. He says again, telling. Do. Leave. ASAP, he says. She says, OMG. What do you want me to say? I'm trying so hard. He says, don't try at all. He says, I never wanted to squeeze someone's head till it pops, then strangle myself. But now I do. I shouldn't be nonstop frustrated. She says, I'm leaving at 11. Can you at least come out and talk to me out here before I go? He says, I'm still shiting. And nah, you seen me earlier. Just go, he tells her. She says, please. She says, I'm so stressed out. I can never say anything right. I'm giving you the space you need. I'm leaving, and we don't have to hang today. I also need dabs, she said. Please, come out. He says, do not say no one gives a F what you say. He says, can you think of a period when we didn't chill for more than 2 days? Probably only when we were broken up, he said. He said, to be honest, we probably haven't had over a day apart unless we were broken up. She said, we have, Dom. He said, no, we haven't. She said, please, come out. I need to talk. Excuse me, I need to leave. He said, I'm like positive. Just leave. She says, no, I need dabs and I want to talk to you for like 2 minutes. And then she says, I can't just leave. I can just leave like this. It stresses me out. I don't even want to go to school anymore. 15 years old. I don't got dabs. Go find some. She says, please, Dom, come out. He says, no. He says, I swear, if you don't leave, I'm a flip shite. She says, I'm leaving. I just need dabs, babe. He says, I don't have any. She says, Devon's here. He says, okay, then leave. She says, I'm leaving. Right now. Please, can I take the dabs that are on the floor? He says, I really don't give a F. She says, okay, I'm leaving. And then she says, hey. He says, hey. She says, sorry for pissing you off so bad. She said, I'm going to go chill with Maddie and Gracie. So hit me up later if you want. We can go FT before you go to bed. And he says, okay, sorry. She says, don't say sorry. You need your space. Mrs. Jan Carr made me feel a little better. What you doing? Why you got to ignore me? Then she says, come on. You can't just ignore me. And then she says, really? Then she says, I swear, text me back, Dom. Shite is so annoying. And then she says, what the F? You on DND? He says, what up? She said, why have you been ignoring me? It doesn't make any sense, she says. She says, I've been calling and trying to text you for like 3 hours. And Dom says, Okay. She says, okay. She says, see, you wonder why I'm always so sus. Because you effing don't text me at all when I'm not with you, and you text me back like that? What the F am I supposed to think? And then Dom says, I don't know. She says, text me back when I text you. Because when you do this, it makes me just want to come over. And then she says, I'm not going to stop making Snapchat accounts till you text me back. So I guess he's blocking her and she's just making up new accounts, right? Yeah. He says no. She says no. Then she says, why are you just being a D? Who are you with? Dom says no one. She says, then why are you being so mean? I just want to talk to you. I don't want to have to make Snapchat accounts because you're ignoring me. And now my head effing hurts. Thanks so much for stressing me out. All you have to do is text back, and you can't even do that. Dom says, okay. She says, I'll text you in like 30 minutes. And she says, I shouldn't have to beg you to text me back. You just ruined my fun because now I have to sit here and think about you. Then she says, text me back. He says, okay. She says, will you reply now? With something more than just okay or I don't know? Like I want to talk to you. And then she says, it really makes me upset when you do this to me. And he says, I'm going to go to sleep. That's crazy. She says, right now? He says, yeah. She says, okay. Can you text me when you wake up? She knows a lot about space, huh? She says, I've been waiting to talk to you for a while. Why are you going to sleep so early? Then she says, Maddie's beefing with her aunt so hard right now in the car. It's so awkward. Hey, she says to him. He says, hey. She says, what are you doing now? He says, chilling with Jared. She says, how's that? Dom says, not bad, I'm just chilling. She says, I'm trying to sneak L to the wreck right now. She said, me and Maddie need to get snuck in. He says, LOL, you dumb. She says, it's bad AF. We got in. Some India man let us in. He says, LOL. She says, we dyeing Maddie's hair blue. She goes, wait, I mean blonde. You wish blue, she says. What are you doing now? She asks him. Do you want to hang out tomorrow? He says, I'm at B-ball, basketball. She says, oh, how's that? Then she tells him, I'm bored, low-key. She says, I'm just watching them play basketball. He says, who? She says, Maddie and Gracie. She says, want to chill tomorrow because I work at 4. And then she says, babe. And he says, I don't know. She says, it would be nice. And I miss you. And then she says, what have you been doing? I, for real, have been thinking about you all day. I want to come tomorrow. He says, I had basketball. She says, yeah, I know. Do you want to chill tomorrow? And then she says, how was basketball? Can I come over in the morning? Tomorrow? He says, I don't know. He says, it was right. It was aight. Then she said, I'm chilling with Maddie. She said, but I want to come over in the morning and cuddle. Oh, boy. She said, I found out why my head has been hurting. It's from my period because I'm about to get it. Text me back, babe. Then he said, my back hurts so bad. She says, why? Still from working out? He says, yeah. And then he says, and I bawled and made it so bad. She says, that sucks. For real, it's probably so hard to get comfy. I could give you a massage, babe. LOL, she said. What are you doing, though? He says, I'm smoking with Trevor. She says, oh, that sounds like fun. And then she says, is he at yours? She says, wanna FT at 11:40? He says, I just went home. I'm in bed now. She says, LOL. When Maddie leaves, can we FT? FaceTime, I guess that is, right? She says, I really want to come over early. He says, if I'm still up. He says, I don't know what I did to my back, but I'm salt. She says, yeah, shite probably sucks. She says, but let me come over early, LMAO, tomorrow. He says, it's right under my tailbone, but then to the left a little. He says, well, not really my tailbone, like on it. She says, damn, I feel it. I hope it gets better like tomorrow morning or something. He says, I don't know. I hope too. She says, yeah, we'll probably feel better in the morning, for real. Then she says, once you sleep and shite, then he says, it's probably won't. It's been hurting. Then he says, I heard it worse. She says, well, if you ice it a little soon. He says, I don't want to get out of bed. She said, have Angelo get you some. And then she says, or tomorrow morning I can bring you some. He says, Angelo's not here. She says, is your mom or anyone? He says, I can't ask them. She says, text, babe. He says, what? She says, text them if you don't want to get up and go, LOL. He said, I meant I can't ask them, period. I ate that old waffle and it was good. She says, that's funny as shite. I could see you doing that. He says, it was like a pizzelle. She says, that sounds so good right now. She said, I'm driving her home right now. Want to FaceTime soon? Then she says, text back. I'm home, babe. Want to FaceTime? Then she says, night. You wake up, FaceTime me. Let me know if I can come in the morning. Then he says, what's up? She says, can I come over early? Please, please. You have to get me, but please let me come. Because I work today and I want to hang before I have a shitey shift. He says, why? She says, why? She says, come on, I miss you. I want to see you. Please, don't be like this, babe. She says, please, I want to come over. Please, Dom. Please come get me. I've been waiting at my phone. She says, please answer and let me come, babe. Please answer. I've just been sitting here waiting for you to answer. Please, Dom. Let me come over at 10. It's 9:16. The only reason I get up is because I thought you were going to let me come over. And you're literally making me walk to And now you can't even text me back. Like it's literally freezing outside and you're making me walk. And you can't even give me a ride? I'm crying so hard, saying I miss you, and you're just sitting there. It's effed up. He says, my back won't stop hurting. He says, I'm not trying to get dressed. She says, I know. I'm saying I could come get you ice and rub your back and shite and too. Then she says, and I don't have a ride. I don't want to walk. It's so cold outside. Then she says, daycare parents like coming still, but like one every 30 minutes. Like they're probably not coming anymore. He says, I don't know, man. She says, why are you doing this to me? It's making me so sad. Then he says, she says, like, if you let me come now, I could maybe get a ride. He says, I'm not trying to. And then he says, honestly, I have something really big I got to do at 2, so you probably can't come chill. She says, let me come now. Please. Then she says, no, please let me come now. If you gave something to do at 2, I'll leave at 2. If you don't let me come in for real, I'm going to be so ducking upset. Text me back. I'm flipping out right now. He says, why? She says, what do you mean, why? I miss you, Dom. And you said I can't come after you said I could. If you have shite to do at 2, at least let me come now. I'm crying so hard right now. He says, why? He says, see, I don't want to let you come over if you're going to be like that. Be like what? She says. You always think I'm going to let you over if you cry. And you told me you know how to fake cry. She says, I'm crying because I'm upset. I can't fake cry. WTF, she says. Don't let me come now so I can have a ride over and then I'll leave at 2. Dom, let me come now, she says. Please. Please let me come now, Dom. I'll leave at 2. He says, leave at 12:30. She says, it's going to take me time to walk over. He says, and you can come right now. She says, okay, coming. He says, try to get a ride. She said, I think I have one. She says, where are you, babe? He says, I'm wearing the socks you got me. He said, I'm really sorry. I don't deserve to be around you. I need to work out my own problems. She said, it's cool. Just hang out with your dudes for a couple of days and we can hang out like Sunday. Loved, I'm wearing the socks you got me. Then he says, nothing there. She says, you? He says, are you going to work? She says, I'm not sure why. He said, I don't know. I was just going to say sorry again and try to relax. She says, yeah, I'm probably going because I need money. I get off at 8:30 or 9 something. He says, okay, I hope your stomach and your head is okay. She says, the only thing that hurts really is my stomach, with a sad face. He says, damn, I don't know, just make sure you eat right and get some water and stuff. She says, yeah, I'm on the way to work now, right now. Then she says, what up? He says, never mind, just hungry. She says, me too. I haven't ate in a whole BC, I've just been working. She says, I want Charlie's fries. He says, that would be so smack. He says, you should get Charlie's and bring some. She said, like, come over? I can do that if you want. He says, I don't know, it depends how I feel after dinner. She says, well, I gotta know now, before 8:30, because that's when Dennis will let me go. He said, okay, I will. She says, okay, bet. Then she says, you want food? He says, I'm okay. She says, damn. Still want to hang out maybe, she says? He says, maybe. He says, I have a car. She says, oh, would you be down to scoop? Then she says, I seen Jared. He says, maybe later. She says, I'm probably getting off soon. Then she says, I just got off. What's the move? I'm salty AF. He says, why? She says, bro. So my mom came in, and Gracie just sat with my mom and expected to come over my house when I never said that she could, and now we have to drive her to Maddie's. Then he said, LOL, what a dumb arse. You should have told her that earlier, though. She said, like, I didn't know she thought she was coming. After I change and eat a little, I'll come over. IGU want. Let's see. Then she said, if you want. Oh, he says, maybe. She said, I'm about to be home. She said, it's going to take me a minute to get dressed. Do you think we can hang out? He says, why did you put hang out in caps? She said, no clue, LOL. Spell check, she says. He says, okay, I was confused, LOL. She says, LMAO, like WTF. He says, I don't know. Let me do some stuff and see what's good. I have to pick up my room. She says, while you're picking up your... Excuse me, not his room. He has to pick up his mom. She says, while you're picking up your mom, can I get a ride over? Then he says, I don't know when I'm doing that. She says, I'm also trying to go to Maddie's at like 1 or 2. She says, hit me up in 10. He says, I'm probably not trying to chill. Just go chill with me. She says, are you sure? Not even for like an hour? Yes, he says. Because she says, because I'd rather 100% chill with you. I wanted to get some bud too. He says, hit up Blair, or I'll drop some. She says, I don't know. I'm just trying to chill for a little. It would only be for like 1 or 2 hours. He says, no. She says, so now you're not down to chill? He says, I never was. What do you mean? He said. She said, well, you kept saying maybe, and then you told me you have the car, so I thought you would come and get me. I don't know. I just got my hopes up low-key. He says, oh, okay. She said, I would have just got dropped at Maddie's if I knew you was going to for real. I thought you would say yes. She says, and you said something like, let me do some stuff before you for real got my hopes up. This is crazy, isn't it? Hi, Bucky Ann. Hi, Frilly Farmhouse. She says, I told you to just go with Maddie, babe. She says, yeah. But I've been with her the last 3 days. And she has no food at her house. And Well, we just don't do anything, and Gracie is going to chief my pen. Then he says, then don't bring it. She says, but I need it. She says, I haven't smoked all day. He says, then smoke and then go. She says, I don't know, babe. Then she says, I want to at least FaceTime while I hit my bong. Oh boy. He says, no. She puts a sad face. She says, okay, that's cool. I get it. And hold on a minute. My thing just, please be back on the thing. Hold on a minute. I got to go back on this. Where did my text messages go? So what do you think? I mean, she's really demanding, right? Crazy demanding. Hold on, I just have to get these to come up here. Oh, he does block her, Frilly, but she gets different profiles and things, and she just doesn't stop. He needed like a restraining order is what he needed. Are these adults talking? This girl is 15 years old, Bucky. This is the girl that caused that accident. That killed her boyfriend and a friend of theirs. She was 17 when she had that. This is her at 15 years old. She is manic. She is crazy cakes. Okay, let me get to... yeah, she is just... nutters. She is just, and she did the same thing to the mother when she got out of the hospital. She bothered the mother like crazy, but she kept asking the mother all the time, am I bothering you? If I'm bothering you, just let me know if I'm bothering you, Mrs. Russo. Ms. Russo, let me know, Ms. Russo, if I'm bothering you. Am I bothering you, Ms. Russo? Ms. Russo, am I bothering you? I'd like to come over to go to Dom's house. Is it okay if I go to Dom's house, Ms. Russo? Am I bothering you, Ms. Russo? Oh my gosh. Did you look at the video I put up today when the investigator brings the phone back to the hospital with her parents there? Go listen to that ditty. Okay. Let's see where we are. I think I went ahead too much. $31,697 pages of texts between the two of them. It's the same song with her. She's like a broken freaking record. Okay. Almost there. It's hard to even see where you are because she says the same thing all the time. I'm just going to go back a little bit and then just read, because it's the same freaking thing all the time. I mean, truly it is. Let's see. Oh, I can't fake cry. Okay, we got through that one. So then she says, where are you, babe? He says, I'm wearing the socks. Okay, we went to that. Let's go a little further than that now. Okay. She says, so now you're not down to chill? He said, I never was. What do you mean? She said, well, you were kind of saying that you told me you have the car and I thought you would chill. Hold on, we went on that. Let's go forward a little bit. She says now, I could bring the snacks back, or we can all go. Then she says, they probably really care if I leave some weed for them. Can you drop some dabs weed and a pre-roll? He says, I'm picking up my mom. I'll call you in a little. She says, okay. Are you coming, babe? He says, yeah, I don't know when though. She says, okay, come soon though. Come soon. Dom, it's okay if you're too sleepy. I can just come over or some and put it then. Didn't even make sense. She says, LMAO, night, babe. He says, good night. She says, what are you doing today? I can come chill at 12:50 if you're something tomorrow, if you're trying to get some food or something. He says, basketball, then I don't know. She says, when do you have basketball? She says, I'll be free pretty much. He says, I have basketball at 2. I can maybe hit you up after. She says, that would be cool. She says, we can get food if you want. She says, good luck with your game. She says, when is it over? He said, now, but I'll probably be busy. She says, dang, are you sure? I can't just do whatever you're doing with you? She says, Maddie and Gracie are at work. He says, I don't know. I'm going to chill with Smeesh. She says, okay. I don't know. It's up to you, because what we do, I just want to kick it with you. Then she says, do you think we could go and chill after you chill with him alone, or for a little, or if we can chill when you get home? Dom, he says, I'm selling. She says, scoop. She says, bored AF right now. He says, I can't scoop. Why? She says, but do you want to chill with me at like 10? In like 10, she says. He says, I'm at home now. I'm not that busy anymore. I'm waiting for Smeesh to come through. She says, okay, you want to hang then? He says, when? She says, now, or in like 30. Soon, pretty much. He says, no, probably later if we do. She says, dang, how much later are you thinking? I've been just chilling at my house. He says, I don't know. Payton's coming through, then Smeesh. And then she says, okay, but if we should get food, I have found money. I have money. He says, yeah, I need food. She says, me too. I want something smack. Then she says, what are you doing now? Why did you just let it ring? She said, I hate just having nothing to do. Can we hang out at 6 or 7? Then she says, did they come through? He says, yeah, I'm about to leave and sell some shite with Marco then. She says, dang. Well, when you're back, can I come over? He says, maybe, yeah. She says, all right, bet. He says, maybe. She says, okay, IG. It's good, I guess. So then she says, so can I come? He says, yeah, sure, come over. She goes, right now? And LOL, the emoji. She says, I'm on the way. Where are you? He says, I'm home. My mom is drunk, and I'm really pissed off. Just stay in there. She says, okay, sorry. He says, she's really pissing me off and about to F up dinner. She says, oh no. I really couldn't tell when I talked to her when I came in. She says, text me when you up. He says, I'm up. She says, want to hang out? I slept so good. Babe, when you're gonna done doing whatever you're doing? He says, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might go work out. She says, oh, okay, well, after, hit me up because I want to come though. Let me know what you're doing and when you can hang. She said, Joey's in the hospital. Babe, chill it too? Don't forget about me. He says, can you get dropped off? If not, I'll bring my car. She says, yeah. Then she says, I'm on the way. He says, okay, bet. She says, well, now, my mom isn't here. He says, okay, I'll come. She says, okay, come right now. He said, I'm here. She said, so you're just going to go sit out there now? He said, I said game. She says, okay, I didn't hear. I thought you just slammed the door. She said, can I come? Dom. He says, you can come if you want. She says, OVI want to. He said, you want to get food? Yes, she said. What food? He says, what do you want to get? She says, I don't know, Chick-fil-A or anything. I'm just hungry AF. He says, we have leftover pizza I can throw in the oven. She says, if you want. Let me see what you guys are saying. Hi, love life gal. How are you? And the boyfriend's dad was outside on the porch when they told him. Yes. Yeah, no, he was on the phone when they told him. They told him on the phone and let him drive over. That police force messed that up so royally. She couldn't take the hint, huh? Bucky Ann says no. She planned it out all ahead of time, Bucky Ann said. I would never fight that hard to have a guy, Bucky Ann says. Yeah, it's crazy. She's only 15 years old, Bucky, at this point. She says, I don't really want that, but if you're hungry, you can do it. He says, I don't know when I can get the car. She says, okay, true, and I have to leave at 3:30. Then she says, is Angelo home? He says, probably sleeping. She says, Okay, then just ask him to borrow the car. Then she says, your dad's here, I think. He says, Angelo is sleeping. She says, I don't know. If you want, you can just make the pizza. She says, I don't want a DoorDash. Shite is too much. He says, yeah, you're going to be leaving when I get home anyway. She says, really? Then she says, no, you're going to be home at like 2:40 or 50. Or some probably. He says, yeah, in like 45 minutes. She says, I don't know, we'll figure it out. He says, figure out what? She says, what we eat. He says, how? We have no time. Then he says, you're going to have to figure out something before you starve at work. She says, if I don't eat anything here, I'll just eat some shite when I'm home. He says, okay. She says, but if you think of some, text me. Then she says, it's still nice out. He says, I know. She says, me and Vinny cool. He came up to Taco Bell. He says, Coolio? Keelboats? Then she says, what? LOL, what? He says, you want picked up from work? She says, yeah, if you can. It's slow AF today. He said, well, it's a Monday. She said, yeah, but now I'm bored. She said, creepy ass somebody redacted is here. He says, I don't know who that is. Then he says, the slow kid? What time you need to be picked up? She says, the kid who ate a live fish at our old lunch table. And probably like 9:30. I'll let you know soon. And then she said, say shite on Joey's YOLO. I just said something so funny, she said. I feel like I might be able to leave soon. Then she put a bunch of question marks and she said, why the F would you tell me that you can get me, then not answer any of my effing calls? I've been just waiting here. Really, I'm so mad right now. Then she says, I need weed. Dom, text me back. I wish you knew how it felt when you do this to me. Answer me. Then she said, I'm not effing coming over. He said, I'm going to go to bed. She said, it's so mean when you do this. You should have just said you couldn't. Something, you don't know how you make me feel or something. I waited 10 minutes thinking you were ignoring me. He says, sorry, I thought you said 9:30. She says, I said 9:30 or sooner. She said, it's fine. Oh, but I'm bummed AF right now. I'm getting weed tomorrow when I come, she said. Then she said, bro, mandatory work on the day of Trippy. I'm either getting fired or he letting me call off. He says, okay. She says, damn, you up now? Want to FaceTime before I sleep? If you don't want to, it's okay because I'll see you tomorrow. He says, I didn't even know you were up or going to sleep. She says, LMAO, what? Like last night. He says, yeah. She says, yeah, you must have been sleepy. Then she says, can I come a little earlier so I could see you longer? He says, I got to get ready for school, though. She says, I know. I had one of those weird bumps on my back. But I'm asking if I could get a ride with my dad at 7. Then he says, all right, and sure, he says. She says, did I leave my computer at your house? He says, yep, yeah. Oh, all right, I got scared AF. I'm coming soon. Where are you at, babe? You don't have to make me wait out here. He says, I can't have you come in the morning anymore because I need to be able to go to school on time. So leave me alone till I leave. She says, really? You're going to go there? Thanks so much, she said. Thanks for effing up my year. Now I can't get to school. I'm so mad right now. Then he says, your year? You can come after I leave or something. She says, we were ducking around. It's not just my fault that the door is effed. Then she says, I won't have a ride, Dom. I have a ride 6:30 or 7:30. 6:30 to 7:30. You can just be mad at me, she said. You can't just be mad at me. He says, okay, then you come at 7:30 and wait in the living room. She says, wow. He says, don't flip on me. I have way more shite to deal with. She says, so loving. And I don't. You flip on me every day. He says, oh, okay, this convo is over. What did you say, loving girl? She sounds so needy, desperate, and nags him so much. He doesn't sound so excited. She is very immature, little girl. She's 15, yeah. She says, I just sit there and let you, but WTF am I supposed to do? He says, this convo is over. She says, get mad? No, then you just get more mad and make me feel like shite when it was both of us. He says, maybe if you didn't harass me every second of every day. She said, harass? She says, are you kidding me? He says, I beg to get a day away from you, and if it's anything more, it's a problem. She says, really? Stop bringing that up because you know I give you space. Stop acting like you're all that, she said. I give you space when you ask. I've been giving you space. What's your issue? He says, no, you don't. She says, why the F do you hate me so much? I do nothing. I give you space now. We were just having fun. He says, OMG, just shut up. She says, I got you food. Yeah, whatever, Dom. Now I don't want to go to school today. Thanks. He says, me neither. Thanks. She says, thanks for the unnecessary stress. He says, stop talking. Then he says, I'm still trying to go. He says, then don't hang with me so much. She says, then say you want time alone. Doesn't he say it all the time? It's that easy. No, it's not, Mackenzie. He says, we're talking 7 days a week. He said, it's not just that I can't even go hang with any of my friends. She says, and that's not my fault. He says, I have no friends because no one wants to hang out with me if you're just always going to be there. And then he says, because you always are. She says, F you. I'm leaving. You're a effing D. He goes, okay. Then he says, you can leave me if you want. It's good. Then he says, I'll miss you. She says, no, you won't. You're mean to me all day. And I just take it because I want to be around you. He says, okay, then don't think I will. You're just around me too much. But okay, leave. I should have probably be alone anyway. Then he says, I need to work out my own problems. She says, I'm not leaving unless you want time alone. Unless you want alone time. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. He says, and I can't do that with you here all the time. So the problem's just going to stay. She says, I'm sorry. I'm so terrible. And all your friends hate me. He says, so if you don't want me anymore, fine. I knew this was going to happen. She says, OMG. Then she says, that's not what I'm saying at all. She says, let me come in the room. He says, no. Go home. It's good. She says, no. He says, I'm not even going to be able to go to school. She says, Dom, you can go to school. Just have your mom call you in. He says, no. She says, she's here. I was just talking to her. He says, no. Stop texting me. This convo is supposed to be over. I'm not going to be able to get any work done now. So bye. Oh, shite. I just thought about something. Yikes. Shoot. Okay. So let me go over here. She says, wow. She says, see, that's effing mean. Then she says, I try, then I get shite on. She says, I'm sitting in your bathroom crying, Dom. This isn't how I wanted this morning to go. Then she says, did you block me? He says, okay, you're unblocked. He says, okay, I haven't been able to go to school. I need to go to school. She says, yes, you have. Then go. He says, I have way more bigger things going on than this. If you don't want to let me get my shite done, then you can go. She says, get what done? I never said I wouldn't let you go do anything. Then she says, why are you always trying to put it on me? Then he says, never mind. Never mind. She says, like, you forget about me and make me wait at the mall for 10 minutes. Then you tell me to just go home. Then this, like, I don't get it. Then he said, I'm about to just block you again. She says, yeah, because that always works and makes it better. She says, or you can just let me in the room so I don't have to be sad in your hallway. He says, no, I can't deal with you. I need to go to school. She says, how am I stopping you? He says, we've wasted almost a half an hour over nothing. She says, over nothing? You started it, Dom. He says, I can't go when I'm mad. She says, you flipped and screamed at me because of the door that we can fix so easily. Because you were being annoying, he says. I fixed it. She says, yeah, okay. She says, I'm effing annoying. She says, when I just got out and said nothing, she said, this is effed up. He says, all you had to do was wait 5 minutes out there and not frustrate me. He goes, no, you wouldn't leave. Then she says, it's never just 5 minutes. Then she says, wouldn't leave where? Your room? Then she says, because I don't want to be forced into your hallway? I don't want your family to see me crying? He says, I'm done texting you. You're pissing me off. I've said it so many times. I've got to get ready for school, and you want to keep going. We need a break. She says, no. Dom, don't go there. Then she says, I effing hate my life. Then she says, oh, so you're going to hit my phone? Then she says, you're still going to treat me shitey, or do I have to sit out here and be sad still? Then she says, wow, it's funny how fast you can switch moods. Then she says, be nice to Wes, but throw my phone? He says, you started biatching, so I just hit your phone. She says, thanks for embarrassing me. And then she says, hell nah. You're going to shut the door too now? You better let me in there. Then she says, and I mean, it's a D move to invite Wes over when we are in the middle of a effing fight. She says, really? He says, okay, chill with Wes. She says, no. She says, come back right now. He says, are you going home? I don't know if I'm going to school now. She says, I'm leaving at 10:30 to hang with Maddie. He says, okay. She says, I took kratom. Ha 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 ha. Then she says, can I hit the wood like one time? Then she says, keep me unblocked. I'm not going to text you, but I want to be able to know, too, if I need to talk to you. Then she says, I'll talk to you later. Try to have a good day. He says, hey, what's going on now? She says, nothing much. Maddie's sleeping right now, so I'm bored. What about you? Then she says, maybe want to go get food? He says, probably not. I'm about to be busy. I'm sorry about earlier, though. She says, it's cool. Get over it. I just try to not do that, but what you doing? He says, I'm at home. I'm about to leave soon. She said, if you drop in shite and you want company, come get me. He says, okay. She says, what you been doing all day? And where you going right now? Then she says, my head's pounding. I drank some water, so hopefully it gets better. Then she said, want to hang out at 9:30? That's when I have to leave Maddie's. If your mom needs the car sooner, then just come get me before. Let me know before 9:30. Or come soon. I'm bored, she said. Please answer me. My head hurts. I'm trying to dip. He says, no, sorry. She says, so we're not chilling right now? Not even if I can get a ride? I can get a ride over. Please hang out with me, sad face. Dom, did you just answer then hang up on me? Call me after. I'm literally trying so hard to not cry in front of Maddie. Then she says, I'll be home 9:10. We can FaceTime if you want to talk for a little. Then she says, night, babe. FaceTime if you wake up soon or if you see this. He says, okay, good night. I'll text you soon. She says, okay, FaceTime with me if you can. He says, okay. Then he says, you still up? She says, I'm tired AF today. She says, when I took the kratom, it literally lasted so long. It also made me sleepy today. I felt like weird and shite. Answer because I can't talk to you in the morning. If you want to say hi, I'm here. Like, if you want to come say hi, I'm here. Okay. He says, what? She says, well, what do you mean? You've been not answering all morning, so I just gave up and said, okay. And then she said, can you at least come and give me a hug and shite? Then she said, bro, I'm still tired. She said, okay, thanks for answering. She said, you never answer when I need you the most. He said, I was OTP with my mom. Text me, he says. Then she says, so I just told my mom the things she does that make my life hard, and she was being like crazy. I feel bad, but I feel like she needs help. Like she never just tried to get me to take my temperature. What? She never just tried to get me to take my temperature. He says, I feel? I don't know. She says, like, she calls herself the peacekeeper, and she always is the one that starts it by bringing up something that she knows will make me flip out. And then she tries to say she's getting me at 9 every weekday, and I'm like, WTF? So I got her to say 11. And then she's like, fine, but I'm not telling you when I'm coming. Like, WTF? She wonders why my head hurts every day and why I have so much anxiety. I feel like she's trying to trap me. Like, what's going on? He says, I don't know. At least you don't have to leave at 9. She says, yeah, but I don't know now. When I get home, it's going to be bad. And I'm going to feel bad. Like I wasn't even mean. I'm going to do a face mask, LOL. Then she said, unblock on Insta. And I'm sad as shite right now. He says, okay. She says, when you're home, let's get food or something. When are you coming back? When are you coming back? Babe! Ite, I'm about to go just to sleep, she said. And he says, sorry, took a while to get on. She says, are you coming back soon? He says, yeah, pretty soon. Then he said, I'm going to leave real quick and sell a sack with Martin. She says, where are you at, though? He says, okay, on Lund. She says, oh, Air, I was getting scared that you got pulled over or something because you were taking a while. Then he says, do we have school? She says, I don't know. Let me ask my mom. We do. What? How? He said. I have no idea, she says. How bad is it out there? It's February 6th now, so it must have been snowing. He says, I don't know. Other schools are closed. She says, WTF. She says, I hate Escalating. I'm kind of breaking out, she says. My face sucks right now. He says, yeah, my face sucked yesterday. She says, I put on an acne patch, though. Hopefully it goes away. Then she said, I really thought your face looked cute. My mom said tomorrow we probably won't have school. She said, door is locked. Please open. Dom, can I come into your room today? Tom bit me. He said, not today. Okay, that's fine, she said. Check Insta. Then she said, where are you at? I leave in 9 minutes. My mom said 11:30. Then she said, they skip me. FaceTime before you sleep? He says, okay, you want to FaceTime now? She said, yeah. FaceTime me soon. He said, I'm waiting for Jim. The cat or something. She said, LOL, Jim the cat? She said, after FaceTime? Then she said, snow day, question mark? Then she said, we have school? He says, gay. She says, she put some kind of a text message there. LOL, she says. Then she says, well, let's go, no bowling. I'll see you in like 40 minutes. Then she says, I'm here if you want to say hi or let me come in your room. Then she said, and then he says, I'll say hi when I leave. Are you going to school, he says? She says, probably. Then she says, I'm thinking about it right now. He says, you better. Then he says, I don't know. Why do you make the effort to get here if you don't go? So you better go, he said. She said, well, sometimes I just want to come. Then she said, I can leave at 10:30 if you want me to, or if I don't go. He says, if you ain't going to school, don't come. She says, but you know, I do my work here sometimes. Then she says, why is it an issue now? It wasn't an issue all the weeks before. I didn't go to school Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but I didn't, she said, I don't go to school Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I didn't go Tuesday this week. So I'm probably going today. He says, issue wasn't addressed. She says, are you mad at me or something? Then she goes, sorry, I didn't think it was an issue. You should have told me. Like, I've been doing this for so long and you never told me it was an issue. And now I'm used to coming and it's going to be hard to not because it's like a routine. He says, you be doing this a couple of weeks and I'm not mad. Just you usually come over and I think you're going to school and then you're just here all day. She says, okay, yeah. I don't know. I thought it was okay. But if I don't go, I'll do some work here and wait for you to come back. I wasn't planning on going today, but if you want me to, I will. He says, see? Now, either you go to school or you're going home. She says, why is this such an issue today when it hasn't been an issue at all other times? I can't just go home. I have to wait for another ride now. He says, it has been. I just don't say anything. Then she says, I thought it was cool. Sorry. He said, because I thought you were going to school and then you just here. That's a hella no. She said, you should have said something earlier because I'm used to it and change is really hard for me. He says, it is literally the 3rd week of school. She says, and then he says, it's already been changing. That's not a good excuse. She says, what do you mean? I've been coming here in the morning for a while now. I'm just used to it. I didn't mean to make an issue. I didn't know it was an issue. Then she says, I'm hella stressed now. He said it was a tolerable issue. Yes, I'm so stressed, he says. She says, well, I don't want to go to school today, but I'll go so you're not mad at me. I was just going to go write my shite here. I work today, so I'm leaving at 3:30. He says, yeah, go, 'cause to be honest, I didn't want you coming here in the morning, but it's good. You have to come. She says, or before, if you want me to. He says, it's good. You have to. So no matter what, you're here every morning, he says. No matter what. I have no choice. She goes, I'll go out. No, she says, I'll go, but only for 1 hour. I don't want to be there around Phil. He says, you just here every morning, every afternoon. She goes, dang, I thought it was okay. OMG. And she says, you can't just flip out on me. Then first day you tell me. He says, I don't want to see you. Welp, you here anyway. It's good. I'll deal with it. I'm not. She says, like I said sorry like 30 times. Wait, what? She said. You don't want to see me when I'm here? What? He said, you're just confusing yourself. If I don't want to see you, you're just here anyway, he said. She said, tell me when not to come then. He said, what do you mean? You just come anyway. I'll tell you when to come, not when not to. She said, on days you don't want me to come, tell me. Hi, gal. He said, because if I don't say anything, you're just here anyway. She says, "You're never going to tell me to come." He says, "No, don't come. And you can come when I tell you. You're just going to come all the time. And when you can't come is when it's going to be one day you have to come to school." She says, "When you tell me not to come, I'm not going to come. Why would I come if you say don't?" He says, "'Cause you have to go to my house to get to school. You can get to school without my house." "Can't get to school without my house." She says, "I go to school Tuesday and Thursday." He said, I think you would be able to, but it's good. No." She said, "I'm sorry, I don't have a ride." He says, "You need my house to go to school no matter what. And if you don't go, you just stay here anyway." She said, "Where else am I going to go that's close to the school? Like, I'm sorry, I can't drive." She says, "I don't have a ride, Dom. Why don't you get it?" "I never have a ride. I only have rides 7:30 to 8, then 3:30 and on." He says, "If you don't have to go to school, then why do you come to my house every day, even when you don't go?" She says, "Well, I get to see you, which makes me happy, which you should know. And I know I'm not going to work if I'm at my house. Like, I'll just leave. You're making me really upset right now." He says, "Just if you ain't going to school, don't come here. And try to go home after school, too." "So you just don't want to see me?" "I can't go home after school. Can I just stay here today, please?" Then she says, "I know. If you're the one that decides if I come, you're always just going to say no. I'm just used to coming here in the morning. If you knew it was an issue, I could have tried to find a way around it. But I don't want to only come over your house on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I want to see you more than just that." He says, "If I'm always going to say no, why would you come over every day?" This is crazy. Is this not crazy? This is nuts. And no, you can come more than that. You just can't live at my house, he says. "We can hang after school like normal people," he said. She says, "So you're saying I can only see you on Tuesdays and Thursdays?" And then, I don't know what he's saying here. He says, "Actually, yeah, I mean, it's good. If you think that's what I said, then okay." She says, "I don't have a ride when you get home from school. And on days I work, the morning is the only time I can hang out with you. You don't know how sad this is making me. Like, my heart literally feels like it is sinking." He says, "Well, it's good. That's what I get when I'm just trying to get what I want. I hurt people's feelings and make their hearts sink. And all I wanted to do was for you not to live at my house." She says, "I just try so hard to get you to want to hang out with me, and I feel like you never want to." Then she says, "I don't live at your house. Maybe if you came to my house at least a couple of times, it wouldn't feel like that." Then he said, "Kenzie, I've been saying we've been hanging out too much forever. I've always said that," he said. Then he says, "I'm not going to come over when we hang out so much anyway? She says, I think it's just effed. Like, I know your family so well, and you don't know mine at all. Then she says, just tell me when you don't want to hang. He says, OMG. She says, of course, it's going to make me upset, but I'll get over it. He says, OMG, OMG, OMG. She says, OMG what? She goes, okay. Or don't tell me when you want to. That will work too. He said, we need a break. No, Dom, don't. He said, she said, no, we don't. She says, how come we're good one day, then you just hate me so much the next day? How do you think this makes me feel? He said, yeah, we need a reset. How much we hang out. She says, no, 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 no. He says, you just came to my house and then you told me you weren't planning on going to school. She says, I'll just Uber somewhere or something right now. I do that all the time. You know I do, she said. He says, and then, oh gosh, it scared me. And then you told me you need to come here to go to school. She says, and I know if we go on a break, something bad is going to happen. Then she goes, I do because I don't have a ride to school. And then he said, and then you tell me to tell you when I don't want to hang out. She says, why can't you just have a convo with me? You always have to make it a fight. He said, how the F is that going to work? Now you're making me so mad. You're not reasonable at all, he said. You only want your way. She goes, WTF you mean? Do you not want to tell me when you don't want to chill? He says, WTF you do. He questioned, oh, he put it, okay. Then, wait a minute. Then he said, Kenzie, STG, if we don't go on a break, I'll just have to break up with you. She says, I said, tell me when you don't want to hang out with me, and you get mad like I don't get it. Dom, stop. He says, because normal people ask when to hang out, not when not to. Then he said, I'm not going to say, yeah, Kenzie, I don't want to chill today. Nah, I'm going to say, Kenzie, you want to chill? You got shite effing backwards. She says, when I text you in the morning, you ignore me. He says, no one wants to be smothered. If I don't text, I don't want to talk. She says, then how the F am I supposed to know if you want to hang out with me or not? He says, if I can't breathe for more than an hour by myself, I'm a freak out. Because I'll effing tell you if I want to hang out. Like effing normal people. Normal people. She says, if I want to hang out, I'm going to ask you. He says, this should not have went this far. She says, I'll just walk home, or some shite soon. I don't want it to be like this, especially right before Valentine's Day. He says, it should have ended at, oh, you don't want me to come over every morning, even when I don't go to school? Okay, I'll do that, Dom. But no, he says, you gotta blah, blah, blah. She says, I won't. I'm just saying it's hard to change routines. He says, F out of here with that BS. Then you're going to make me feel bad? She says, okay, if you understood my anxiety, he says that I want more space. No, Dom. Then she says, how come I can never say anything right, even when it's what you want me to say? Because you say you're going to give me more space, but you never do. Like, yeah, I make your heart sink when I want space. She says, if you say, oh, Kenzie, I want time with my homies, or, oh, Kenzie, I want time alone, I'm going to give it to you. Sure you are. He says, I want to be able to do things alone. No. He said, you say, why can't I come? She says, see, I can never say anything right. Oh my gosh, this girl is infuriating. He said, you get mad if I go to Kyle's or Carl's or anywhere. You ask to go to Trevor's. She says, no, I don't. WTF. Okay, he says, done. She says, I get sus with Kyle. He always has girls over. He said, break. No, she said, please no. He said, till Valentine's Day. She said, I can't do that. It'll kill me. Now, this is crazy. No, she says. He says, no. If you can't trust me or leave me alone, then we ain't chillin'. She says, I can leave you alone. I said it 2,000 times. He said, yeah. I like you're afraid if there's girls at Kyle's when his room is small ASF. And there is always people there. She said, I trust you 10,000%. He said, like, yeah, I'm just going to spit mad game at hose at Kyle's. Then, like, TF, no one just want hose around. TF, you got shite twisted. AF. Again, you said you leave me alone. You said, and then when I ask, you don't. So, yeah, we on a break. If you don't like it, then leave. And then I have to feel bad. She says, every time we go on a break, something bad happens. He says, 'cause I hurt your feelings? She says, I don't want to get effed over again. He says, we only went on a break once. She said, you should understand why I feel that way too. He says, I don't care. She says, and when we did, I got cheated on twice. No, you didn't, he said. With my best friends. Okay, fine, then I'm done. No, she said. It's good. We can't go on a break, he says. Stop. We can. So I'm done, he said. Okay, bet. She said, just not a long one. 4 days. Not 7. He said till Valentine's Day. She said, no, That's so long. It's only 7 days till Valentine's Day, just by the way, okay? He says, look, I'm missing more school because I'm pissed because you can't understand English. She says, I need you. I need you to see you're my closest friend, the only person I care about. Please, a short break. I can't go that long without seeing you. He says, we not the same then. She says, and I don't want you to block me on anything while we're on a break. I'm alone. I do my shite alone, he says. I practice my shite alone. She says, I know. You don't like being around me as much as I like to see you. He says, I bawl alone. See? And then you say shite like that, he said. She said, it's not a big deal. He says, F out of here, trying to make me feel bad. She says, I'm not. Read. He says, if you piss me off, you getting blocked. And then unblocked when I feel like it. I'm sick of getting mad. No, she says. He says, I don't deserve this. Trying to keep you happy all the time. She says, and I do? He says, my happiness first now. Mine. She says, I try so hard to make you happy and shite and don't even know, Dom. So effing hard to the point where my head is in pain. Can we talk in person, please? He says, you don't understand happiness. No, he says. Hell no. You can't make me happy, he says. No one can. It's in yourself. That's why I need to be alone. She said, how are you saying you try to keep me happy, then you say it's in yourself? He says, because whenever I don't want to chill, you get butthurt. She says, I'm happy when I'm around the people I love and care about. That's when I'm happy. He says, you rely your happiness on me. She says, no, I don't. He says, most of the time, yes. Okay, I get sad when you don't call. It sucks because I could be out around you 24/7. But you're not like that, and I don't really care, but it's going to hurt when I want to see you, but you don't want to see me. She says, can we just forget about this and I'll leave? He says, I'm good. I'm missing Plato now too. Now I gotta effing get high to go to school. I don't want to be high all the time. That is why I hate myself. Because I want something, and then you make me feel like a bad person. When all I want to do is be alone. Then she says, being alone all the time isn't good though. Sometimes it's not. It is, but not for too long a time. He says, like, TF, I'm going to end up alone by myself and miserable. AF, probably, because I'm never get to be alone now. So I'll probably just get me karma and really be alone. She says, no, you're going to get your alone time, Dom. You're not going to get karma either. The only effed up thing you did was the Odd and Jada shite. Wanting alone time doesn't get karma. Then he says, well, you're making me feel like I'm doing something wrong. She says, like, when you tell me you want to be alone, it upsets me. And of course, I'm going to try hard AF to see you because I like to see you and be with you. And I'll say it 10,009 times. But I get you need alone time. And this is so hard to say, but I'll give you alone time. He said, and they want me when we weren't friends. They hit me up first. She says, it doesn't matter if they texted you first, Dom. You knew. I don't want to talk about it. That was the worst time of my life. I don't want to talk about it. He says, whatever, you just hold this against me forever. She says, no, I'm over it, Dom. He says, you always do. You just did. You can't say you didn't. She says, why can't I say that? He says, OMG, OMG, OMG. I'm done. We done. Effing. It's good. And then he says, F life. She says, no, please no. Dom, please no. Please no. Please don't do this. He says, okay, hold up and listen to how dumb you are real quick. She says, don't call me dumb. Dom, WTF. I'm hurt. There's a difference. He says, okay, never mind. I'm done talking to you. You made no effing sense. I don't even feel like trying to explain it. Then he says, what I was saying is stop trying to make me feel guilty about everything. You bring up Jada and Audrey all the effing time. That shite was so long ago. She says, I don't try to at all, but I'll try not to say anything like that. Then he says, the worst time of my life. She says, Dom, you don't know how bad that effed me up. Don't bring it up.
Oh.
He says, see, again. Then he says, yeah, I'm out. Maybe we can talk again next week. She says, I'm just asking you not to bring it up. It makes me want to effing cry. Why do you have to keep bringing it up? Just stop. He says, I'm done. Missing school over you, getting mad over you, feeling guilty over you. Done. You're not doing this to me anymore. She says, I'm leaving soon. He says, effing deceiving F. You ain't snaking around me no more. F out of here. She says, WTF you mean, snaking around you? He says, you slithering your way around, getting your way. She says, I never get my way. He says, like you always do. I never do. TF you mean. She says, if I did, you wouldn't be on a break and I'd be in the room with you. He said, I'm about just book a month vacation and get the F out of here. She says, and I'd be allowed to come in the morning. Don't. Then she says, just chill out, Dom. This doesn't have to get this bad. Caps, she says, like I'm trying to find a ride home. I'm sorry. I don't want to beef with you at all. He says, hell no. You get to an extent. If I got my way, you come to my house no time before 2:30 and leave at no time later than 10:30. And we wouldn't chill more than 5 days a week, probably like a good 4. She says, just 4? I wish I knew you felt that way. He says, like for real, I'm done losing motivation. She says, shite hurts, but what am I going to do? I'll try to do that for you. Why are you losing motivation? She said. He says, 'cause you are always effing pissing me off and never let me do anything. She says, I let you do anything you want. OMG. He says, if I didn't have to hang with you all the time, I can get way more shite done. He says, no, you don't. Then she says, it's crazy how we can be so good yesterday, then today you just hate me. Okay, she says. Then she says, then we don't need to chill all the time. Sometimes it feels like it's me. Because when you're alone, you don't text me. And then you block me. He says, 'cause you set me off. She says, how about texting you, hey, WYD, what you doing? He says, yeah, I need to go to your house to go to school. And then you just never go to school. She says, I'll just not go to school. I got 2 days. I said that 30 times. He says, and you here every day. Every day. I miss Play-Doh now. Thanks. She says, I'll just stop coming over in the morning. He says, I needed to get more tests done, but I'm a bad person. Thank you. She says, you're not a bad person. He says, I asked for that last week. She said, what the F are you saying that? He says, but I don't get my way till we break up. She says, I don't want to break up. He says, and then you still probably going to come over in the morning. She says, see, when you tell me I'm not going to do something that I just said I'm going to do, makes me crazy. I'm only coming on Tuesday and Thursday, if that's okay with you. He says, if you don't want to break up, effing listen to me. And don't make effing excuses and buts and ors and ifs. Like, I ask for you to not come in the morning, and then you just have to come every day anyway. TF. She says, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was an issue, Dom. He said, to be honest, I'm way too effing mad. We on a fucking... Boy, sorry. We on an effing break till the 14th. She says, not the 14th. He says, no buts. No. 14th. She says, that's 7 days. What about Tuesdays and Thursdays next week? He says, 'cause, to be honest, though I care about you, I learned that it's never worth it if you're trying too hard. Just stop. He said, like if you or anyone getting in the way, they out of my life. 'Cause people ain't worth it nowadays, he says. She said, you're worth it, Dom. She says, I don't care if that's not what you want to hear. He said, so if anyone trying to knock me off my grind or what I'm supposed to do, they can go effing take themselves out. She says, you don't need to go there with that. I help you grind all the time. He says, you wouldn't even let me do my schoolwork. You keep bothering me to go to my room because your back hurts. Selfish. She says, Dom, That was one day, and I wasn't feeling good. He says, and you hear every day. She says, I'll let you work all the time. When's the last time I didn't let you? He said, you could have just went and laid down. I've been at school. I'm so fed. I effing hate you. You just pissing me off worse. She says, don't say you hate me. He says, you're just been feeding me BS to make me more mad. How? She says, I'm trying to make you not mad. He says, like you're barely making sense. She says, I just want to be cool. He says, we're not cool. Go home. I don't want to talk to you. She says, I need to find a ride. He says, I hate you. She says, no. Will you drive me home? Please, talk to me, Dom. No, he says. She says, please let me fix this. This is hurting me. He said, I'm missing more school because of you. She says, it's not my fault. He says, I've been so fed up with you for so long. She says, I want you to go to school. He says, and you don't do anything. You effing always piss me off. She said, you think I want to do that? She says, do you think I try to? He says, you could have just said, okay, I won't come over in the morning when I don't have school. She says, you get so mad at me for little arse things that I just let blow over no matter how mean you were to me. She said, I will, and I said that 30 times. He said, I'm about to tell your mom I don't want you to come over anymore. She goes, wow. Then she says, if you text her, I'm going to flip out. Why? You text my brother. Brothers all the time. She says, to get you to text me back. She says that's the only reason I asked them to get you to text me back, like WTF. He says, I'm going to tell your mom to not let you over no more. No, you don't. I know. It's like more than that. She said, don't text her. He says, I think I am. She said, I asked Angelo for help when you were flipping on me. She says, you better not, Dom. He says, I wasn't going to, but you just pissed me off. She says, do not, or I'm coming into your room. Dom, stop. He says, go home. She says, I don't have a ride. I'm trying to find one. But you can't even do that for me. You can't even drive me. Then she says, Dom, please, just stop. I want to leave so bad. He says, I'm texting her since you want to bother me. She says, I want to be cool. I'm trying to leave. Dom, you better not. He says, and threaten to unalive yourself? TF, TF. She says, you better not. Text her. Me and my mom not cool. She says, oh, he put, if you text my mom, I will unalive myself. She says, you better not text her. That's effed up. Going to my effing mom? He says, should I tell her you said that? She says, what is your issue? He says, for real, though. Like, why say that? She says, you're just trying to hurt me. You're just trying to hurt me. He says, I'm not. I just don't want to deal with all this all the time. She said, I said you don't have to. He said, I've been hurting, and you can't just let me hurt alone. She said, I can. I said I can. Millions of times. He said, like the F, you effing psychotic biatch. He said, you said we broke up 3 times over this shite. Wow, she says. 3 times, he says. You did not just say that, she said. You didn't just call me that. OMG, that's effed up. He says, you were threatening to unalive yourself. She says, you're effed up. Wow, she says. He says, that's not right. She says, I don't even care. WTF, so say you said it too. You tell me you're going to hurt yourself all the time, then make me just sit there. How do you think that affects someone? He said, I say it differently. You say, if you do this, I'll unalive myself. She said, you say it. He said, okay, I'm texting your mom, F it. Dom, no. I'm coming into your room. He said, that'll probably be the only way I can get my way. No, she says. If you come in, I'm texting her. Dom, we need to talk. We need to talk. No. Why? See? Now Angelo is up because I was yelling. That's not it, she said. I asked him, please talk to me for 5 minutes before Angelo takes me home. That's all I'm asking. Please. No, he said. Please, so I'm not stressed. I'm leaving, so please just talk to me. He said, I'll still probably be texting your mom. Don't. He said, I'm already missing school, so I'm going to be mad the rest of the day now. She said, if you text my mom, you have issues. He said, I could have gotten another test done, but no. She said, mental issues. How can you do that after you see me bawling my eyes out all day, not too long ago, or something like that, she said. He said, I do have issues with you. I see you bawl your eyes out every week, he said. She said, because you're mean to me. He said, and you make me raging mad every week. I'm going to see something like, what is up here? Let me see something. Hold on. Okay. So then he said, and you make me raging mad every week. And then she says, please talk to me. Then he says, no. She says, for 5 minutes is all that I'm asking. This is unbelievable. I need dabs and weed too. Please listen. He says, the F? No. I'm too mad to listen. She says, Dom, stop flipping out. He says, you made me flip out. She says, please listen. I said, I'm going to leave you alone. He said, I'm texting your mom. She said, this should be over. No. He said, it should have been a while ago. She said, do not text my mom. ISTG. I literally said, I'll not come on days I don't go to school. The fight should be over. And you saying you're going to text my mom makes shite worse. He says, 'cause nothing works. She says, it does work, Dom. Please, let me talk to you before I leave. This girl is like, this is crazy. This is absolutely flipping crazy. Is this not? Why? Are you trying to get me in trouble? She says. Don't text my mom. Dom, talk to me. He says, I don't care. I don't know what to text her. Dom, don't text her. You hate me on the weekends. Please talk to me for 5 minutes. Dom, please talk to me. I already texted her, he said. I'm going to leave right after. OMG, are you serious? Sorry, I had to. I'm sorry. Maybe shite can be good now. Answer. She goes, Insta, we driving. Why you gotta lie to me? Dev here. Question Dev here. He says, oh, I know. He must have left. When are you leaving? She says, I'm waiting for my mom still. He said, is she coming? She said, yeah. When? She said, why are you being weird? Right now, she said, you're making me so sus. He says, I just want you to leave. That's all. She says, you don't need to lie. I'm leaving right now. Okay, cool, he said. Are you here? She asks. No. So you at school? I'll be back soon. It's just weird. I don't know. I trust you, she says. Yeah. Try to leave before I get back, he says. I am, she said. Okay, let me know when you leave, he says. She says, you don't need to wait till I leave. He says, I am. She says, it would be better if I could hug you before I leave. He says, it's okay, you hugged me earlier. She says, I know, still wish I could. I left. You gone? Yes, LOL. I'll talk to you later, she says. Have fun. He says, okay, I will. She goes, shite, I forgot to ask you about dabs. If you have time, drop some. Just let me know. Then she says, it's also cool if you don't have time, but if you can, it will be good. He says, you have hella bud, you'll be good. Okay, LOL, she said. Then she says, thanks for the bud, I appreciate it. He says, oh, so you really blocked Hannah on my other Insta? She says, I seen her like one of your pics. How do you even know that? Dom, answer. The real question is, why would you promise you aren't texting her if you are? Like, please, tell me why you would do that to me. Are you kidding me? He said, if you text Angelo, we done. Dom, she said, stop. Please, talk to me, please. He says, I wasn't, but I'm going to notice eventually. Dom, please, don't block me. F out of here, he says. She says, we need to talk. He says, you want to block her? You blocked. She says, no. Dom, please. It's not funny. That hurts. He says, that shite is so petty. He says, really? Going on my phone and blocking people? Explain to me why you had to do that, she said. Please, tell me why. When did you even do that? He asks. You just went on my phone? I seen a notification, she said. When? He says. No, I didn't. I was chilling. And I seen her liking your shite. And I was like the day you left the track phone at your house. So I seen you guys were like following each other on there. What day? He said. F you. She says, why does that matter? Stop. Dom, you lied to me. He says, I get no privacy. F you. She says, it was a notification. He says, it's an Instagram. Follow. What do you mean? She said, I seen her name pop up. And I was like, OMG, lied to me. He said, I had her blocked. On Snap. F out of here. She said, you told me you had no contact with her, Dom. I believed you. He said, to be honest, I forgot about Instagram, but F you. Stop. Then she says, do you know how I felt when I seen that? Then she says, he says, how are you still calling me? She says, please, don't block me, Dom. Then she says, I'm not going to text you. Why? He says. I just don't want to be blocked. It makes me upset as F. Okay, you're unblocked. Thanks. I'll stop calling you. Just no block. Then she says, you know how I need dabs, and you said, I probably don't, but I low-key do because I work today and tomorrow, and I need a way to smoke at work. How long you work, he said. Sorry, I didn't see this. She said, I'm there. Right now. Let me or when I get off. 9:30. Oh, well, I mean, do you need them? She said, yeah, low key. After, can I come over for a little? Unblock me on Insta and answer. No, just text me on here. Damn. Okay. Did you see my other text, though? I don't know what I'll be doing then, he said. Well, if you're doing nothing, let's chill. I'll only be there for an hour or some shite. I'll be lucky if I get off early, for real. What you doing right now? chillin' with Martin and Husney. She says, my legs and back hurt so bad, I'm in pain. If you're free after work, can you scoop? Maybe, he says. Okay. If you have time, if not, I can probably get a ride over if you're trying to hang for a little. This is all the same day, okay? Are you guys realizing this is still February 7th? This is all the same day. Work hard AF today. Text back. I got AJ, Joey, an Uber. To where, he said. Tyler's, LMAO. They begged me for like 20 minutes. He says, should I pull up and get food? Yes, she says. He says, they better pay you back. She says, I just want the food. Good karma. He says, I'm at home though. I won't have enough time. She says, probably I can see if it can get you some. He says, they better pay you back. Yeah, I guess so, she says. Trying to chill when I get off. Maybe, he said. I still gotta clean, too. He says, I want food, but I have no time. A sub would smack right now, though. She says, I just got free Charlie's. The lady just gave it to me. No way, he said. She said, yeah, I'm hyped right now. Is it fresh? Yes, she said. Should I come? She just made it for me and brought it over. LOL, if you want the Charlies, she says. I probably can't eat the whole thing. He says, ask her for another one. You'll pay for it. I'll come right now. She says, LMAO, you can just have mine. I'm doing dishes right now. LOL, no. Actually, I'd have to go in the mall, though. She says, I really don't want a lot of mine. She says, yeah, or I can give it to you when I leave, and I can get mine. Okay, now, let's see where we are here. Let's see what you guys are saying about this craziness. Love Life Gal says she has serious mental health issues. Bucky says, and they thought this was love? That's just sad. Video said if anyone has access to the Mean Girl Murders Season 2, she is featured on it, Under the Influence. What's it playing on? What is that playing on, Video Reel? Tell me what that's playing on. What happened to their break until Valentine's Day? I don't know. It's still February 7th. It's crazy. She is relentless, Hart says. This is crazy. HBO. So I have access to that. Mean Girl Murders. She's featured on it. Okay. Well, maybe we'll have a members movie night. I don't know. Let's see. What time is that? It's 1 something. Let me see how far we got tonight. I think we got to like, I don't know. Did anybody see that, Mean Girl Murders? Did anybody see Mean Girl Murders? Let me see where we are. So, this is nuts, isn't it? He should have texted her mother. If I was this kid's mother and I saw this, I would freaking be over at their house and be like, you better get your daughter out of here. Something's wrong with the girl. This is like nutso. I mean, she's texting his brother all the time and all this crap. What the heck? It's freaking nuts. Okay. We got over. You just cannot believe the voluminous amount of text that are here. 31,697 pages. 31,697 pages. And do you know what page we're on? We are on do 1,000. Gosh, this girl. This girl is crazy. Okay, hold on. I'm almost there. Let me see. Oh my gosh. And what is this thing about scoop? I've never heard anybody say that for pick me up. Can you scoop me? Never in my life have I heard that. Okay, here we are. So we're out like 1,135 pages of 31,600 and some odd pages. So she was asking him about the food, and I can get me. He says, that's too much work, probably hella traffic. She says, or I can bring it to you, text you in a second. He says, okay. She says, all right. Then she says, I'm done. Are you trying to chill? He says, to be honest, no. But I'm hungry. She says, damn, really? She says, it would only be for a little. Are you sure? It would be really nice because I worked hard today. He says, how long? She says, I can leave at 11 if you want. I don't know, he says. She says, come on, it'll be fun when I'm there. She says, I can get food on the way to your house, too. He says, I have my car. I have to leave soon anyway, he said. Oh, can you scoop me then? I'll wait a little longer. He says, no, not that soon. She says, so you can scoop, but not that soon? He says, I'm not scooping. She says, or then I can get a ride over. He says, I don't want to chill. Really? Not even for an hour, she says. Please? I work tomorrow 11 to 7. Please, babe. Dom. He says, I probably won't want to chill tomorrow either. She says, I know I work all day. Can we just chill tonight? No. Really? Like, Dom, don't be like that. I'm just chilling with Maddie or some. I'll just chill with Maddie or some. He says, okay. She says, talk to you later. I'm gonna miss you, she said. Miss me till when? Till I see you next, which hopefully soon. Wanna FaceTime while I wait for my mom? He says, I'm about to go get food. She says, dang, I wish I could come, LOL. Where are you getting the food? I'm hungry, but not for Charlie's. You feel? He said, Arby's. Save the sub for me. You never get that. And what do you mean? How can I save it for you? I took one bite from it. Are we chillin'? Why you not answer? He said, I'm driving. He goes, maybe after I chill with Max. Real quick, he needs pre-rolls. Oh, sorry, she said. And I'll smack that sub. She says, just let me know. I'm gonna wash my hair and change. LOL, okay. I'll just keep it with me. It's smack for real. Then she says, I'm home. He says, LOL. She says, okay, let me know when you're going to try to chill or scoop. She says, my street is effed. For real, it's really icy. She says, I'm ready. Just let me know. Dom, tell me what's up. He says, I'm smoking right now. She says, oh, air or wood? He says, then she says, what time will be cool to come? LOL, I'm making myself laugh. I'm so tired. I'm so fried. Dom texts back, she says. He says, I don't know. He says, LOL, you're funny. She says, are you still with Max? I have your sub still. Can I come over at 11 or sooner? No. And I thought you were eating it, he said. She said, I thought I was coming over. I saved it because you told me to. Oh my gosh, here we go again. Guys, this is still the same day, okay? This is still February 7th. Just so you know this. What's going on? She says, Dom, please answer. I work tomorrow, babe. Dom, for real. Then she says, bro, come on. Dom, can I come right now? How come you just don't answer for 30 minutes? This is so crazy. I'm salt for real. I do not like when you do this shite to me. I'm smoking, he said. Still? WTF. You said that at 10:19. How, if you still smoking? Makes no sense. Yeah, took a dab. Then he rolled a wood. He said, now I'm smoking the wood. Okay, can I come over? Till 12 or 1? No. Brew, please, don't tell me I can hang and shite and then get my hopes up when you're just going to make me wait, then say no. It gives me anxiety. But it's whatever, because we can chill. Maybe chill tomorrow. I get off at 7, so I'll bring you food. Are you going to text back? My dad asked if I know someone who has hella female weed seeds. I'll pay you. Should give him some. LOL, okay, he said. Talk to you later, babe. FaceTime later? Sure. Okay. I'ma text you soon. Now? Morning, babe. Dabs? Before I work? No, unblock me on Insta. I fell asleep, he said. Yeah, I figured. I needed dabs, but I'm already working. He says, oh, damn, what time you work till? 7, she says. Not that bad, but sucks. Let's hang out after work. Then she says, oh, don't you have a game today? Good luck. We lost. But it's cool. How's work? She says, dang, work low-key sucks right now. The main manager here. Hey, I'm on break. Nice. What's up? He said. I just want to talk to you. I leave at 7. You want to chill? I had a really bad blackout today. For real. How? What happened? I don't even know. I straight out passed out. Answer about hanging out at 7. No, probably not. Why? I don't want to, he says. That shite's so gay. I've been begging for days. Please, babe. No, I just got home. I just want to chill with Angelo. I can bring you food. No, my mom's making dinner, babe. I'm at the mall still. Dang. When do you think you want to chill? I don't know. I don't want to be alone again tonight. Hang with someone. The only person I can chill with is Maddie. She leaves at 9:30. Can we chill till 9:30? You gotta have someone else to chill with. Dom, babe, I don't. I miss you. It will only be for a little while. I'll leave when Maddie's off. You can't chill with Megan? WTF. Yeah, because me and Megan are cool. You know I don't effing like her. WTF. You really can't hang out with me for 2 hours? I haven't seen you in like 3 days. Don't be like this. Text back. I don't want to hang out. I'm sorry. Remember we were going on a break and you seen me yesterday morning. No. And I just want to see you. There's hella cops at Firestone. Why? That's weird, he says. I don't know. There's like a ton of cops and people standing outside their cars. But please, babe. No, babe. Shite sucks. You don't even FaceTime me or text me a lot. Makes me feel so sad. He says, I was just about to say we can FaceTime a little. That would be nice. But it's just not the same as seeing you, babe, in person. I'm about to be home. You just said we can FaceTime. Nah, I'm chilling in the living room, LOL. Chilling in the living room would be a lot better if I was there. LOL, that's fine. How long till we FaceTime? Babe. He says, I don't know. I'm watching a UFC fight with Angelo. All right, what about after the fight? I just actually come over. And if not, we just FaceTime. I'll text you soon, okay? Okay. What up now? Want to smoke or something? No, I'm still watching UFC. When's it over? Maybe. I'm really tired. We can literally do anything. I'll just cuddle you. It will be good. Good night. Fun. Babe. I'm still watching the fight. This girl doesn't get a hint, okay? This is like unbelievable. Oh, really? Yeah, there's like 5 fights. When you're done watching the fight, can I come over? I don't know. It'll be fun. I really want to hang. I'm sure it'll be a real great time. Just hang with Maddie at 9 if she can, babe. I don't think she can, to be honest. If you don't want to hang tonight, can we hang tomorrow? Please? And will you FaceTime me now? I'm eating. Hang tomorrow? Or tonight? If not tonight, then tomorrow? Oh my gosh, this girl, I want to smack this girl. No. No to what one? Babe, please, hang soon. I need to FaceTime. Oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. I'll FaceTime you soon. I gotta go somewhere real quick. Bring me. Dom. Or get me one back. Please. No, babe. Okay, babe. Just FaceTime me when you're home. Maybe chill tomorrow. I miss you so much. You don't have to get mad. You were making me drive like shite. I'm sorry. I had to switch lanes, and then there was a red light. I could have had a bad accident. Oh, shite, she says. I didn't know. Now I'm driving like shite again. Then text me when you're home. Night. It's good. Let's hang, babe. I'm still tired, and when I get up, I'm gonna go work out and stuff. Okay, after. You know, that dope-ass hoodie you let me use? I found a couple of them, and I might have to buy you one. What hoodie? The one Cool-Arth's one. Blue and purple? I found a couple online. Not the blue and purple one like other ones. He goes, I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest. Are you serious? She said. The blue, purple, and black starter hoodie? Oh, he says. Yeah, Dumbo. Want to hang at 12? Do you want a purple and white one? Send pic. Okay, she sends the picture. And she says it's low key. Matches the Vans I got you. He says, oh, that's pretty dope. I have no idea what team that is, though. She says, yeah. A lot of the teams are weird. There's more. I'll find more. There's an orange and blue one. Babe, answer ASAP. Call me. After you show text or FaceTime, you could have said bye. I'm sorry, you were annoying me, he said. I'm not trying to. I just miss you. I know you're going to say no, but it's worth a try even asking sorry. He says, you asked to chill, and then you asked to chill again, not even a half an hour later, and then you ask why, not every time. It's hard not to get frustrated, especially when I'm trying to do it. Trying to do shite, he says. No, I feel it. I'll look at the times before I ask. He says it doesn't matter what times. If I say I don't want to chill, I don't expect me to want to chill an hour later. She goes, well, you could have changed your mind. I don't know. I'll just wait 2 to 4 hours. Oh my gosh, this girl is infuriating. She goes, what are you doing? Chilling with Kyle. I'm with Maddie. If when we hang, if we do, you want to get food? Probably not. My mom's making food, he said. When you leave in Kyle's? When you dip, you want to scoop? I work tomorrow. Dom. What? When are you leaving Kyle's? And when you do leave, you want to scoop me? I want to hang tonight because I got to work tomorrow. And I know you can't hang during the day. Really? You're going to leave me on read? On red, I think she means. I must have by accident. Okay. Yeah, I'll probably pick you up. Bet. Text when you're on the way. Okay. How long you thinking? Babe. I don't know. I don't know if I'm even picking you up. Soon, hopefully, she says. Because Maddie just fell asleep. You said you probably will. Please come, babe. Text me back fast, please. I need to know what's up. Like, I don't think I can chill here much longer. Dom, please text me back. On the way home right now. He says, what? She says, I'm home. Can I come over? Soon? Probably not, he says. I want to show you the hoodie I found. Actually, maybe. Please, you got me so excited. They are cool arse hoodies. I don't know how long I want to be up. I can get a ride. And you can sleep whenever. It's okay if we only get like 30 minutes. It's better than not seeing you at all, she says. Can I come right now? Not right now. When? Babe, please. Before 9. Or after you eat. I really want to see you. I miss you. Dom, please. Can I come now, please? Oh my gosh. I'm just waiting. Please? I don't know. Please, babe. I'm begging you. Why are you putting the crying? It will only be for a little. I miss you so much. I want to see you so bad. And when you say no, it hurts. Please, just for a little, babe, please. Oh my gosh. I can get a ride over. I'm begging. Babe, please. I won't see you tomorrow. Maybe. I have work and you have school. Please let me come right now. Dom, I'm begging you. I don't want to sit here longer. I miss you. Please. I can get a ride. Please answer. Please. Let me before 9. Dom, please answer before my mom doesn't let me go anywhere. No. Stop blowing me up, babe. Babe, please. Don't do this to me. I miss you so much. I want to talk to you. I want to see you. I've been so sad. Please. I'll only stay for a little. Babe, you keep bothering me. Please, just let me come. Please, just let me come right now. Oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. I don't want it to get too late, and my mom will say no. I was so excited and happy you finally said probably. Please. Oh my gosh. Babe, please, don't do this to me. Let me come right now. Please, before it's too late. And he says, maybe if you would stop blowing me up. Babe, listen to me. It's about to be 9 o'clock. My mom is going to be weird. I'm not blowing you up. You're not answering me, and I'm flipping out. There's a difference now. Come on. Yes, you are, he says. Listen, she says. Dom, please, let me come right now. I need to see you. I miss you. It's killing me. Please, Dom. Dom, I want to show you the hoodies. Please, don't do this to me. Please, let me come. I'll do anything in the world. Babe, you keep blowing me up. Just relax. I'm flipping out. Sorry. Please just let me come. Before it's too late. You shouldn't be. I miss you. I need to see you. I'll FaceTime you soon. No! Please let me come. Please let me come. Come on, babe. Please. Dom, don't do this. I said, stop blowing me up. I'm so sad right now. Please, please, please. Oh my gosh. Stop being sad. Dom. It's not that easy. I miss you. I haven't seen you. And you've just been saying, no, I'm bawling my effing eyes out, begging you to let me come. Please answer. Dom. OMG, please don't do this to me. It's going to kill me. Please don't. My head is hurting. Please, just let me come see you. Oh my gosh, this girl. I'll leave after 30. Mom, I don't know. I just want to talk to you and see you. Please understand that. Dom, please answer. Oh my gosh. Stop, babe. You can come over tomorrow. I can't. I told you. I can't. What time do you work? I told you. 30, she just puts a whole bunch of numbers, times 4. We can chill till then. I'm screaming. OMG. For 1 hour. Please, Dom. Don't do this. Babe, please. I can drive you to work. Please. Okay, fine. You can come in a little. Please, I miss you to death. It's making me so sad and my day's so hard. I'm sad. I haven't been happy. This sucks so bad. I can't even tell you how hard it's been without you. This is insanity. I don't like that. You're like my best friend. And my babe. You're part of what makes me happy. Only you can make yourself happy, he says. You're part of it. Not all of it. Please let me come now, Dom, please, now. I want the most I can get with you, please. Please talk to me on the phone. Dom, please answer. OMG. Please answer. Babe, I'm not going to let you come anymore if you keep blowing me up. Please talk to me on the phone or text me back fast. Please let me come now. It's getting late, Dom. Please. Please. Understand that. Please. Babe. I know you're getting texts. Please just answer me. Please, fast. I'm not trying to spam you. I need to talk to you. Dom, it's getting late. Please, let me come now. Please, Dom. Stop. No. Dom, it's getting late. My mom isn't going to let me come. Why are you doing this to me? You said yes already. You just can't take it away. Call her FaceTime because you're taking too long to text me back. OMG, you're making this so much worse for no reason. You're making me flip out, Dom. Dom, please FaceTime me. This is effing mean. Yeah, Dom, tell me. I can effing come. Then ignore me. This is unbelievable. This is worse than Fatal Attraction. No, you can't come now. You wouldn't stop blowing me up. I'm trying to play a game. Stop. OMG, OMG. OMG, Dom, don't. Let me come. Right now, just let me come. I've been waiting. I have all my shite on. I'm ready to go. You're so mean to me. I cry about you every day, and you make me sit here and miss you. I'm mad. Oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. Why? You blocked me. All I have to say is you better drive me to work tomorrow. FaceTime me before you sleep. Oh my gosh, it stopped there. Now, maybe we should, what time is it? 2 o'clock in the morning. Maybe we should end there, and we can do, if you want, members live, not a members live, members movie night. And I know I didn't do the members live today, but I didn't even get to tell you about my day. I was out and about, and then I was on with Scooter a long time and Jen, and then we had a barbecue, and it was just crazy, and so I didn't get to do that, but I'm going to try to do it tomorrow. She really is sick, Bucky Ann says. Hi, Gail. Let's see what's going on. What are you guys saying about this? Anybody think this is normal? Dealing with her would make anyone smoke. Oh my gosh, she's like, I don't even know. I know she's 15 years old, but she's like a little kid that like never stops asking for something, right? Are we going to go? You said we were going to go. Are we going to go? Oh, you always say that. Like, I think even a 5-year-old is better than her. I mean, this is insane. Whew, hi, Super Chat Cat. This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. This is like crazy. This is just absolutely nuts. If you see her mother make a victim's impact statement before the sentencing, you'll see where she gets like this. The mother has to be told off like by the judge. It's pathetic. And she just keeps going back to it, just like the daughter does. Fatal attraction. This makes Glenn Close look like a sweetie, right? My gosh. This is crazy. This is just nutso. Absolutely nutso. So let me do the word game. Then I will put the anybody that's in Slack knows the live, but I'll put it in for the members on the post, and I'll put the movie on. Let me see. Let me do the word cookie thing. I think we are like on, I don't even know how many pages. This is like going to take us a year to get through this. This is like a novel. I don't even know how many parts this will be. This is craziness. Absolute craziness. She's 15 years old at this time doing this. 15 years old. Oh my gosh. I'm infuriated with her. And now I know, now it makes what she does to the mother, like we thought that was annoying, but that's exactly where this is coming from. If I'm annoying you, let me know. If I'm annoying you, let me know. Yeah, you're annoying me, and I told you, and you still don't stop. Wow. My gosh. Crazy. Unbelievable. I don't know. My goodness. It's crazy, isn't it? Goodness, I don't even know it. I just feel like I feel like I can't even. I cannot even. Okay, I'm sorry I got those all Let's see if she got anything that I don't have here. Oh, I know. Lush. Oh, we got it at the same time. Yay! Whew. Did I do my daily puzzle? Yeah, I did all my August, so why didn't I get my prize? Aren't I supposed to get some prize? Okay, let me put the number in while we're waiting here. Hold on a second. Members? Okay. All right, I put it on the members only. What was that? That was crazy. And so if you're not a member and you want to come and watch, I don't know, this documentary thing on with us, you can just join the membership and come on along. Good night, it's just me. And I'll probably have, if you haven't seen this shorter video I put up, I'll probably put up a short video about Mackenzie Shirilla, maybe every day at least, for some of the stuff. And you'll see the one I put up today. If you haven't seen that, go look at that. Tomorrow I'll have another one up sometime. That's the plan. But I may also be going up to college to bring Ethan a book that was here instead of sending it. It all depends. It all depends on if a couple of things. So anyway, the members thing is open. God bless, prayers. We'll see those of you that are leaving us, those of you that are coming, come on. Those of you that want to join the membership, you just hit the join button. Memberships are as low as $1.99. Okay? It's a great way to support the channel. Thank you, and we will see you hopefully at the movie. Let me see. How do I... Jane, how do I stop this crazy thing? Okay, here we go. And this, I finally got my Streamlabs where I don't have to do that crazy opening. Okay.